Okay, let's get to the next guy here in the NFC, Josh Jacobs. All right, Josh Jacobs was with the Raiders. Now he is in Green Bay. Really interesting landing spot for Josh Jacobs. Lay it out for us, buddy.
I mean, dude, he signs a 4-year, $48 million deal, $12 million guaranteed. What does that mean in the running back world? Dude got paid. Josh Jacobs got paid, John. He's out there slinging it. Fun fact about Josh Jacobs, guys, for those of you who don't know, who want to know the human element about this guy, he actually used to live in his car with his dad. That's how poor that this guy was. And so as he was going to college and everything at Bama, he was finally able to, be in the dorm rooms and be with the guys and stuff like that. But still, right, he always had that passion and that tenacity from that difficult time, right, when his family ran into that. And so, John, to see a guy like this get paid, good dude, good heart, great player, absolute superstar, especially in 2022, right, to where he led the league in rushing yards, over 1,600 rushing yards, by the way, that year. He's awesome. So congrats, brother. You got paid. We're rooting for you. And thank you for getting out of the AFC. We appreciate that. So, John, what does this mean in terms of what he did last year in terms of stats, right? So 805 yards rushing last year, 6 rushing touchdowns, 37 receptions. He had 296 receiving yards and 0 receiving touchdowns. John, he was hurt quite a bit last year and still eclipsed over 1,000 total yards, right? So this guy can really do it. And when you marry him with that of Jordan Love, who, by the way, shout out, just got paid as the highest paid. He's tied now with Trevor Lawrence and Joe Burrow, by the way, as the highest paid quarterback. Crazy. The sidebar here. But Josh Jacobs now walks in as a true leader to this young team. They have better assets outside collectively. Obviously, they don't have Devontae Adams. I understand that. But when you stack up Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, you have Dontavian Wicks, you have Romeo Doubs, you have Luke Musgrave, you have all these other utility guys that end up playing very well together. John, this is a guy that absolutely can help take this offense to the next level. I love it. Look out for him, especially in your second, third round, man.
Okay, so last year he finished as the running back 26, just outside of an RB2, a starting running back. Currently, he's the 10th running back off the board, ADP of about 28. So we're talking he's going to go late second, early third, mid third, somewhere around that range. What are we doing with him, man? I mean, we're talking he finished as 26. Now he's being drafted as 10. This is one of those guys that people are scared of. It doesn't always work. When a new face goes to a new place, we know this. It does not always work. How do we go about drafting Josh Jacobs? I personally am not all over him and targeting him and, thinking he's going to be an absolute stud. He could be, but I need somebody to talk me into it. Can you do that?
Definitely. John, you look at what Aaron Jones did when he came back healthy on this particular Packers team down the stretch. Aaron Jones revitalized this team, right? Because A.J. Dillon he wasn't getting it done. He's a good back. He really is. It's just not quite working to what they thought it was going to be in terms of a absolute bruiser. So when Aaron Jones was healthy, he got his shit right. He really went nuclear, man. And that's what Josh Jacobs has the ability to do. Now, John, they did draft Marsha Lloyd, and that's a guy out of USC for those wondering. He's a rookie. But don't worry about that. They're two completely different backs. You don't pay a guy $48 million to immediately be unseated by a rookie that, candidly speaking, isn't nearly as good as he is. And so I set that to the side, John. So for me, then it goes back to, okay, well, what value can you get? Let's assume that Josh Jacobs is going to take on, and more so that of the Aaron Jones role, in a very positive way for the Packers. So then let's go back to fantasy. You're telling me that you can get a top tier receiver, back half. Let's just actually go with, no, it wouldn't be back half, it would be middle. So let's say you go Amon-Ra St. Brown. Love that. You come back, John, you get Mike Evans. Love that. And now you're sitting on that third turn with the possibility, right, if 5th overall, in the third round, to get a guy like Josh Jacobs, John, it's a no-brainer for a guy that, by the way, in 2022 was the leading rusher of the NFL, right? He wasn't a scrub. And so that's why he's on this team in a much easier, I don't want to say much easier, but it really is division, right? He's no longer in the AFC West. He doesn't have the Denver defense. He doesn't have the Chiefs defense. He doesn't even have the Chargers to worry about anymore. Yes, he has the Lions, but the reality situation is the Vikings, okay, whatever, right? The Bears, yeah, they have a good defense, but we'll see. We'll see what the Bears can do with Caleb Williams. I'm a believer, you're a believer, but we need to see. John, that's why I believe that if you're third round or back half a second and you have an opportunity to take Josh Jacobs and then another top tier receiver, gold, absolute gold.
I love it, man. I love it. I think in the scenario where I still don't know exactly what to expect with Josh Jacobs. I just don't. I don't know if anything is going to convince me of that, of why he can be, go from running back 26 to running back 10. He is going to have the opportunity. He is a 3-down back. He is a workhorse. Not convinced they're going to use him like that. They did draft a rookie. They still have A.J. Dillon there. Could he vulture some touchdowns out of him? I'm not sure.
Very well could.
Very well could, but he could be a 3-down back workhorse on a team that is going to be good. They're going to move the ball. They're going to score points. My big question with him, I guess where I'm more comfortable in taking him is using him as an anchor after I take 2 stud receivers. I think that's the best scenario to where I feel good. If you want to anchor running back in round 3, I think there's a couple of guys. Derrick Henry could be one of those guys. Yep. And I think Josh Jacobs can be one of those guys. They're proven guys to lead the league in rushing. They've done that before.
Totally.
They're with a capable team, with a good quarterback, young team, good offensive line. I think it's a possibility. I think it's possible he could be a value in the 3rd round.